take a dump, I sweat. Hey, this is Cook Strikes and Iconoclast, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that impromptu workout.
Do you need fiber?
Explanation. Oh, yeah.
You got to get the bidet seat. I'm telling you, $35. And sometimes I do it even when I'm not pooping, just when I need to cool off on a hot day.
Yeah.
You know, nice cool water in your engine room. You know.
Yeah.
You could also just jump up and wash your ass in the sink.
Yeah.
Yep.
Set your balls on the counter. Feel a moment of weightlessness.
Yeah.
Did I say already this is Cook Strikes?
Cook Strikes and Iconoclast.
I'm your host, Mike Lucht, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts,
Spencer Lowry.
And Christopher Wells.
And today, we're having another kind of take it easy episode, because next week is,
gross.
It's going to be heavy and gross and dark.
Yeah.
But today, we're getting a little more theoretical. I mean, there's some meat on this bone. There's some real
science.
shit.
I mean, the very, very little research that I did do on this is interested me.
We're gonna get kooky.
Yeah.
We're gonna get cranky.
No? Are we? I don't know. I'm not cranky. You're cranky.
Gonna get cranky.
Oh, goddamn
Gonna
court's
get
out of
stanky.
order. Yeah, this week we're talking about sonic weaponry and sonic warfare. This was mostly inspired by a book written by a DJ named Code 9. But when we delved into the book, I really got to look at it.
Wait, that was that author's
a.k.a.
name?
Steve Goodman.
Steve Goodman is his real name.
DJ
and it was
Code
through
9.
It was through MIT Press too, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that dude's on one though.
But yeah, he's a bit of a too many disco biscuits, I think. I like his beats, don't like the people who rap over him, but whatever. Yeah, he's also the founder of the Hyperdub label, so if you're interested, go take a look.
So he's a dubstep DJ?
It's not dubstep.
Then why is it dub?
Like dub is in like
Copy.
old school reggae. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And all the offshoots like drum and bass and
yeah, a lot of EDM, UK based, some good shit, honestly. But yeah, not a fan of the people who rap over his shit.
And this fellow was not practically incoherent. I mean, he's a very loquacious and fastidious wordsmith.
Yeah.
But they were just going nowhere.
I saw some words or portmanteaus, I guess you call them, that I'd never seen anywhere else, like narcosonics, and I do love that word because I've been there and felt that.
Narcosonics?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
sounds that can
yeah.
We'll
give
get
you
into
a
it.
yeah. Sounds
Anywho,
that get you fucked up.
yeah, basically. So, yeah, as
Any
always...
of them sounds make your dick hard?
Actually. Like we said, we'll get into it.
All
The
right.
sound
But
of a
first-
woman opening her checkbook.
But first, as always, we're going to do a little What's Weird this week. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
I reckon, and we're talking music too.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of you people know from the classic show Scrubs, there's a scene where he dances to the song 99 Luftballons.
That's how I know that song.
Yeah, that's where I learned about it too.
You didn't know that song?
Hast
I
it
do
was
know
it
that
for
song.
me.
Okay.
Didn't send it, didn't need for dish. Oh, never mind. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. I can't sing it, but
Yeah.
Nina is the songsmith on that.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City was on the soundtrack of that. That was, I heard that song a lot of times playing that game back
Oh
then.
yeah, getting the 5-star.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
that era.
Have you samples from that game?
We
On
could
this
do
show?
that. We could do that all weapons cheat code like instant, like
Yeah.
split second.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with the cheat codes anymore. I play it raw dog natural.
Left, up, right, down, triangle, square, triangle, square.
Contras.
So Nina has been frequenting the Damanhur cult, which is a cult in
Italy?
It's in Italy. It's an Italian-based cult that was founded in 1975 by Alberto Arati, age 59 now, 59. He claims all kinds of kooky stuff, that he can implant the spirits of dead people into the newborn baby bodies,
Yeah,
you
who
know.
can't do that?
But most famously, and where Nina comes in, is that there's apparently a naked time travel machine that Mr. Arati has built himself.
That's funny, you know, like on Terminator when the
Yeah.
Terminators transport,
That's what I
they
was saying
they
earlier.
can't have clothes.
Yeah, and see,
Terminator rules.
this was founded in 1975, many years before the Terminator movies
Maybe
came
that's
out.
where they
Maybe
got it.
he was a consultant. Perhaps.
Interesting.
James
Yeah.
Cameron.
This is it turns out it's a huge underground city of light, as he calls it. It's a huge underground town, so to speak, with schools. They even have their own currency and a secret language.
Wait, is this real?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
place is real. Yeah, the
I've read about this.
Damonher.
Where they built an old mine shaft or something?
No, it's
like an underground cave system or something.
yeah, with hundreds of feet of underground tunnels.
Natural caves.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, that remains to be seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Presumably. Media touts the Damonher cult as, makes people psychologically dependent. They have different levels of they're like their caste system, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You get higher ranks the more of your personal wealth that you give to the cult.
Of course.
Yeah. So the Class A citizens, the best ones, are the ones that have like signed over their fucking house and
Yeah. Here's the
That's
deed
all
to
the
my
rules.
life.
That's all the rules.
Yeah.
So
A good cult.
this time travel machine, which is what she's interested in, and Nina just released a new album, and she showed some of their drawings, like diagrams, so to speak.
Oh, like
of how
schematics. or some
Schematic,
shit,
yeah, like esoteric schematics. Put them in her latest album. She seems to be interested with it. This is like
I heard she's a problematic character lately. I didn't really follow up on it, but
yeah,
I'm not
she's trying
saying
to
it 'cause she's German.
dig her hooks into something.
What, like
Yeah.
problematic like Ace of Base?
Yeah, in that vein.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the naked time travel cult.
Naked time travel. The reason, so he says you gotta be naked because if you're gonna go in the past or the future, your clothes aren't gonna come with you, which is just
That's why.
I mean, it's Terminator rules.
Terminator rules. He's not wrong.
Your clothes. Give them to me now.
in
What if
that
you could
aspect.
set up like a
What I think.
You're telling
Okay.
me there's no fake fiber anywhere in the Terminator body?
And why couldn't you just leave your clothes on? If they don't come with you, then you're
Yeah.
naked there, but you don't have to be naked in the room full of the other initiates that are, trying to send you. Like, I don't
Well,
get-
if everyone doesn't have a boner or a wet vagina, then how
That-
does the time travel
Yeah, they gotta
work?
all charge their sigils,
Yeah.
It's probably something like that. Everybody has to...
Terminator skeletons gotta have some kind of like inorganic alloy of some kind in the microchips,
That's
processors
true.
or something.
So maybe it gets a little gray, jagged line there.
We should probably write James Cameron incessant letters, like don't stop until we find out.
Yeah, 2 a day, like on 2 a day, and when they don't answer that, we do 3 a day.
I'd like to see Terminator versus Predator.
I think that was actually a comic book at some point.
Probably, and it's
Yeah.
just which means it's only a matter of time before it comes out on the
Yeah.
big screen.
Yeah.
No original ideas these
Yeah.
days.
They need to make an Invisibles movie, right?
Fuck yeah, they do.
Yeah.
There was almost a TV show,
Damn,
but they didn't have it for
it's
some
too
reason.
good. It's too
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's too.
So that's my what's weird. It's Nina wants to time travel naked with these
Did
Italians.
she ever have another hit besides
No,
Love Balloons?
I don't think so.
No.
That was a good song.
If
It
you
is.
look
It
into
makes
like,
me want to dance.
What rapper used that? Na na na. Somebody used the same.
sampled it. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost where Scarface.
time's out.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my dryer.
Your whites are ready, dude.
Whites. I don't wear anything white. No,
I almost want to say it was.
Here I Am by Special D has it.
Okay.
What's this? I can like picture people screaming into the podcast.
It's very similar to the Scarface song. It's similar.
Oh yeah.
No, not that one.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about the tune of
Yeah.
it. Saying is it like you're using the same tune as Old MacDonald as you say your verses.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
The same
excuse
melody.
me if I'm
Oh, they
being
go
rude,
smash
but
it.
I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
something to say
Yeah.
to you. That was Scarface.
Was that
It's
Scarface?
going down.
I
Yeah,
thought it was Ghetto
Scar-
Boys.
It was Scarface.
Oh, okay.
It's going down.
I do love that fucking
Yeah, that's
song.
a great song.
It's a great song.
Anyway,
Going down here. We go.
Anyway,
going
yeah.
down. That's the
Yeah.
one.
So, in keeping with today's theme, yeah, we'll throw it a little
We'll
bit.
put that in a
to
post.
people. This episode actually, I guess I should warn people. Technically, this is our April Fool's episode. I'm not going to go into the finer points about how today is the day that Jesus riz, and
He
tomorrow
riz.
is April Fool's.
That was his Riz, I
He
guess.
is
Yeah, gotcha. I was dead.
Risen.
But yeah, we're gonna be splicing some. I don't know. I don't want to give it all away. we're gonna play some audio tricks in here. I just saw something totally fucked up on your. Oh, it was a bug. Okay. So for those who don't know,
April Fool's.
Chris has
I have security
cameras
monitor
because
in the studio here.
he smokes a lot
like
of crack.
jellyfish. The jellyfish
And I
UFO.
swear to God, I just saw like a fucking like a dragon or
Whoa.
something.
No.
Well, yeah, that's what it was.
When the mayflies
Oh my God.
when the mayflies outside get on the cameras that are watching the street, it looks like weird apparitions are moving around.
I saw one like a Ring doorbell camera that had a spider crawl across it.
Yeah,
It was like, oh, fuck.
yeah, no, we get a lot of that. I have to double check every now and then.
But yeah, I will throw out just, you know, devil's advocate. Maybe don't listen to this episode while you're driving or operating heavy machinery, because we have a theme going here.
Or cooking, for that matter.
Yeah, anything with knives, or that might make you, I don't know, just a violent thought cross your mind. Just don't do it.
But the thing is, I have no idea what Mike's talking about because
Lay down in bed, get some nice
Yeah,
covers.
yeah. Put your headphones on and just chill out.
It's gonna get weird.
I'm curious as to what he has in store for y'all that he's gonna add in.
Does he or doesn't he?
In keeping with today's theme of psychotronics and sonic warfare and just general paranoid fuckery, I found a story about... I'll just read the... this is from The Street, which I guess is the new cool name for the Wall Street
Are we still
Journal.
doing the
Wait, what-
W.W.T.W?
We're in what's weird.
Yeah.
This is what's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Cut that out.
eBay pays... No, it's
Cut
fine.
that.
Sorry. eBay pays $3 million to settle 2019 gang stalking charge that involved its former CEO. I'd never even heard of this fucking story. Like, gang stalking is a small, infinitesimal part of what we're going to talk about today.
Because most of the people that claim it are pretty much schizophrenic, or they're just
Delusionally narcissistic. Yeah.
You couldn't have said it
It's
better,
such,
bro.
it's such an we'll get into it.
Extreme
It's
narcissist.
endemic of our times.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
so fucking.
it's all these fucking people.
I almost want to include
These
You
people.
know what? Actually,
The main character syndrome.
while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to include some video posts. I would love for every one of our listeners, I know it's not a lot, but I want you all to go to the YouTube comments of these people and just flood it with fucking troll shit.
What do you got
Yeah.
to lose?
Oh,
Hey.
yeah, exactly. Just,
Now, we
just create a
Help me
fake...
to help you.
We have a
Help me to
small
help
enough
you.
audience now. We can do. We're not going to get the Alex Jones lawsuits
No,
of storming the fucking Sandy Hook parents.
These
and
people
whatnot.
call themselves chosen ones and fucking ridiculous shit like that.
Whoa, wait,
Targeted
wait.
individuals.
We'll get to it later. I don't want to get too deep into that.
Okay.
But, yes.
I was about to talk about the other chosen ones and whatnot, but
No, not... there is some of that. I
You'll
don't
get
know.
your turn. Yeah. You'll get your day in the sun.
Yeah.
We are heartily sorry for having offended thee.
So, for those who don't think that gang stalking is an actual thing, maybe not in the aspects that we're going to get into later, but it is a very real thing, and this is a whole fucking court case that I was unaware of until I started looking into this. But eBay, apparently, there's this couple out of Massachusetts who...
I was going to say Delaware.
New Hampshire. There's a couple out of Massachusetts who do a sort of I guess it was like a Consumer Reports type deal on the internet, and they spoke out against eBay. And apparently the big brass at eBay, fucking including the CEO, got together and were like, he basically, there's a quote in this article from The Street, which
I ended up on a Street article earlier.
yeah, he basically said, take them down. And then when this went to court, he was like, I meant take them down in like a figurative sense.
Litigious.
That reminds me of the guy that owned the whole 9/11 thing with where he's like, pull it. The guy that owned the World Trade, or he was like renting the World Trade Centers, and like that's his quote from the Truthers, is he did tell the fire department to pull it, and so that's where the Truthers run with it.
And that it was a
demolition. Yeah. The guy that got billions of dollars from that. That is it's very interesting, but
boy.
I mean, that's the thing about insurance.
Doesn't look like any other controlled demolition I've ever seen.
So yeah, this couple wrote, some disparaging remarks about eBay and their business practices, etc. And the CEO said, get him to his, I guess, corporate attack dogs. And they engaged in a systematic campaign of gang stalking. There's really no, better word for it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I
They
read
were-
that article. It's very interesting.
Yeah, they were fucking sending hate mail. They were telling people that, and
No,
this is a tactic out of another guy we'll talk about later's playbook. But they were saying that there were there was some kind of brothel running out of their house, and people were showing up or contacting them on Facebook or whatever, just like, I'm here for the gangbang.
But this particular case is one of the few rare literal instances of gang stalking.
Oh, yeah.
No, this was
that
real
I've found.
gang
Well, and
Yeah, this is
like,
one of the few instances of real.
and this is like a substantial, predator, like a big Davy Goliath situation.
Bigger than doxing or anything like
Yeah.
It's
that.
not just some asshole on the internet, it's fucking eBay.
Well, all the
So-
assholes are on the internet. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone on the internet.
Because you can be an anonymous coward
Once
on the
you
internet.
become...
Everyone except for you, yeah?
Oh, no, I'm the... Oh, dude, I troll. I fucking... get me on that...
I
there's
troll, I ogre,
there is a
I
page
Spring Hill
Goblin-
Jack sometimes.
A goblin sometimes.
Okay, so there is a page called Jews versus Black Hebrew Israelites that I follow
Oh,
on
my
Facebook.
God.
I get a little trolling because I'm like, both of y'all are fucking idiots. I don't you all believe in fake shit. It's all
Yeah.
fake shit. I troll my ass off on there.
Yeah,
It's fun. It's fun.
You're such a poke the hornet's nest and walk
I
away.
love-
Never
back.
go back to the comments again.
Yeah.
You
Oh.
post some shit and then you just.
Oh, I
drop
never know. I never
Yeah.
respond to them. After that, I drop it, and they I get all the comments, and then I leave.
We'll get in some comment
off. You've
section
been
shit
tagged
later as
2,700
well.
times. Yeah.
So apparently eBay started delivering, they sent a book on the death of a spouse, they sent a bloody pig mask, a fetal pig, a funeral wreath, and a box of live insects. I mean, and this is just partial of what's going on.
See, but that's not...
And this came from. You're saying this came from eBay,
They're,
the inside.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this went to court. That's why, this happened in 2019, but like I said,
I love eBay when it comes to Christmas time.
Let's see.
Rare exotic gifts.
Yeah, they're settling with $3 million for the gang stalking charge, and the former CEO faces no charges, even though he's the one that fucking, unleashed the dogs, basically.
It's the
He's a former.
That is mafia level. That's why you got your lower.
Yeah, he
lower
actually
leagues.
stepped down because of this.
So he went from capo to salutatory.
So
Consigliere?
Consigliere.
no.
Salutatory is underneath them.
It's a soldier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Capo to soldier. I don't know the Italian word. I can't remember. I usually.
Gabagool.
Yeah, it's the gabagool.
He became the gabagool.
He's the guy that goes and gets the gabagool now.
No, actually, I think he is.
Mozzarella.
Technically, he's more in a consigliere role.
Yeah, because
now.
he's still running it.
Yeah.
So really, yeah, I guess he is conciliatory.
Yeah.
Because he's still running it from the sidelines.
Yeah, you can check this out on the street. It goes far more into detail than I'm willing to parse here. But, yeah.
We don't go all day.
There's pictures of this. He just looks like a douchebag. I never really, it's weird. Every time I thought about, the inner circle of eBay, the top of the corporate ladder of eBay, I always pictured, I don't know, I guess I could equate it to, what is it, Antiques Roadshow. I don't know why, but I always thought it's, the same kind of people, just we have this from other people, and we hook up people who are looking to buy people, or maybe I'm thinking of Wayfair. So, yeah. It's pretty fucked up, and I don't know. This is basically a bit of a foundation for some of the stuff we're going to get into later. But this is a very real case. It doesn't go into the psychotronic, paranoid, weird shit we're going to get into later.
Beams from satellites. and
Yeah,
shit.
but there is a foundation and a real life basis for gang stalking, so it is a thing.
Yeah, but it gets skewed right out of the gate. Yeah.
And I'm glad you said main character syndrome, because yes, that is That is the fucking...
Narcissus, eh?
That is the disease of our times.
Little
Holy shit.
Narcissus, mwah.
Everybody wants to be a fucking star.
Yeah. Nobody wants to put in the work.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like,
But they all end up like Marky Mark in the
the
movie.
Funky Bunch?
No, you know, in the fucking porno movie where they're
Wahlburgers?
just trying to fucking get their dick hard and fucking, you know.
Yeah,
Oh, trying-
too much
You're
cocaine.
you're a star. You're a star.
Oh, yeah.
You're a star. And like they're just jacking themselves in the mirror trying to be a star.
Yeah. It's almost like society as a whole right now is just a house of mirrors, and everyone's jacking off into it.
Dude, my kid has a YouTube channel where he does like gaming videos, and he got one because of a keyword that he typed in where he got like 2,000 views. All of a sudden, when most of his videos get like 10 or 20.
No shit, that
And,
fool's
like-
doing better than we are.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
keywords, man. Metadata. Yeah, metadata. But
I gotta set
I mean,
up the
like
fucking-
you thought,
yeah.
you know.
Yo, could he give us a shout out?
Check out my
But he's
dad's
got
podcast.
He's got a kid.
I can't think of a more sad fucking...
Shout out to Henry the Beast 14
Yeah.
on YouTube.
That'll
my
be good.
boy.
That'll be good. That'll be good. All right.
Hey, for 6 or 7 episodes in, I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, all right. Me now?
Yeah, you go for a little while.
Yep.
Me? Me?
So yeah, if I had to summarize, House of Mirrors, everyone jacking off. Your turn.
All right. Marky Mark jacking off in the mirror.
Wahlburgers.
This one isn't so much weird as infuriating. Yeah, just to tell you, I don't know, put you in the, I don't know, federal people
Fucking angry.
and law dogs.
Law don't go around
Yeah,
here.
I was
law
about to say.
dog.
I was just about to say. Insert the clip from Tombstone.
Law don't go around here. Savvy?
Will
We'll
do.
cut your fucking pimp heart out.
Yeah, you fucking pimp. You fucking pimp.
Y'all are all a bunch of pimps. Bit it.
That word has really changed.
Oh yeah, pimp. Actually, up until like the I don't know, it was like the 80s or the 90s. Pimp
Yeah.
was a disparaging
Yeah,
remark.
it was one of the worst things you can call
Yeah,
people,
because it's
apparently.
just a scumbag piece of shit.
It's
was
kind
a pimp.
of turn it back
Now
around.
pimp
'cause-
means good, right?
Well, no, in the 90s and the
Well,
early 2000s,
yeah.
pimping was cool.
Yeah.
Pimping is not cool.
No,
It's
At
forced
all.
coercion.
it's exploitation.
It's it's just disgusting, and they're fucking.
But then again, your employer could be. You could call your boss a fucking pimp too, because he's coercing you to work in a
I
certain
don't get
ways.
fucked in an ass or fucking. I don't gotta go suck a dick.
Time to suck today's dick.
I
You're
will
sucking the
say,
dick of life,
No, I'm not.
paying taxes,
Oh, that now get the government.
sucking
Well.
Uncle Sam's
But my-
red, white, and blue cock.
I will say, as far as pimping goes, as far like
It ain't easy.
The term, well, obviously, I think it's Iceberg Slim. His book, I will say, there is a lot of fucking parallels. You fuck someone up,
Gross, yeah.
and then
no,
it's
you
like,
bring them. It's the you give them negative and then positive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
gross.
the
it's
sub drop
It's
thing.
so.
Uh,
Anyway,
Yeah.
Something that submissives and dumbs do a lot in kink play.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
that's
like, they'll beat them up
consensual.
and then care for them afterwards. Well, yeah, but this
but
is
that's
the same.
that's Anyway, this is from the United States Attorney's Office of the Northern District of Texas, my home district. Ex-FBI agent sentenced to 7+ years in prison for secret probation scheme.
Double secret probation.
Yes. A retired FBI agent who conceived convinced a Granbury woman she was on secret probation and conned her out of more than $700,000 was sentenced Tuesday, and I will let y'all know this is a couple weeks old.
Sucker born every
yeah.
minute.
Technically, the rules of what's weird this week is we found out about it this week.
Yeah. Conned her out of more than $700,000, was sentenced Tuesday to 87 months in prison, followed by a term of 3 years supervised release, which is just that's just pretty much they put that on everybody. In the Northern District. This is Granbury. This is right over
Boilerplate.
Granbury has a beautiful
fucking-
downtown square, by the way.
Yeah, it's what are we, 40 minutes from here?
Yeah.
About 40 minutes from where we reside. In August 2023, after a 12-day trial, a federal jury they convicted anyway. This dude and another dude, co-conspirator Joseph Eventino de Leon, about 64. Two old ass dudes. One was an ex-Fed.
It's a French name, right?
No,
De
that's
Leon?
no, I believe
De
that's Mexican or some kind of Spanish.
Maybe Italian.
Y'all are wrong.
We're in Texas. I'm gonna say Mexican.
Yeah.
He and Mr. De Leon told the victim that the fictitious federal judge had appointed the two of them to administer the conditions of her 6-year secret probation. They required her to text them written reports of her. So, I'm not going to read because this is a very long thing. These two fucking assholes, one an ex-Fed, I guess somehow it doesn't really say in the article how they figured out she was part of a drug conspiracy, which I will, again, it's known... I went away for drug conspiracy before, and that's the thing. These two fucking assholes convinced this woman that she was busted for a drug conspiracy.
Yeah.
And she obviously must have been pushing some weight because she had $700,000 to pay them.
Now, was she already in trouble for something else, too?
No,
they knew she had the money.
They somehow, they doesn't go into it. That's
She must have already been punished for something else.
Well, I think these dudes used their... I'm just speculating here, because it does not say how they knew she was in a drug conspiracy.
I'm just an old prospector.
Yeah, but these fucking assholes used their probably connections with the feds to find out about this woman and know that she was moving some weight.
So wait, neither of these dudes were active.
No, he was a retired FBI agent, and I guess his buddy.
So there's got to be other inside guys.
So, well, let me get into it here. They, I guess, somehow found out that this woman was pushing some weight.
Yeah.
And then approached her and did a fake arrest on her. And
damn.
And then told her, look, we're going to put you on double secret probation.
Is there a name on that woman?
There is her name. Let's see, William Roy Stone is 65. 65-year-old is the dude.
I mean, we'll include the links, but just
and then co-conspirator Joseph Eventino De Leon, long name.
That's right.
He and Mr. De Leon with the fictitious. It does actually. I don't see the woman's name.
Yeah, but they probably kept that out.
But they got this woman. They pretended to bust her, and then told her, "We're putting you on double secret probation. You cannot tell anyone that you're on this probation, and you also have to make payments." And it says, in order to further convince her probation was real, the defendants monitored her cell phone, which, how the fuck?
Yeah.
There had to be other people tied into this. That's what upset me about this whole thing.
Official people.
Yeah, because a retired FBI agent, I don't know, maybe there's ways you can just monitor somebody's phone on your own. I doubt it. There's some other inside kind of bullshit in here, and somebody had to have gotten fired over this shit and just didn't make it into the indictment.
Yep.
But to further, they monitored her cell phone, conducted physical surveillance, and stated they had discussed CT's probation with a psychiatrist, enlisted another person to impersonate the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration's Intelligence Center in a message inquiring about CT. Oh, they just put her as CT. And play spoof calls between her and a fictitious judge. So they put her on the phone and said, this is the judge that's handling your case. You're on double secret probation. We're doing all this shit. We're keeping you out of trouble, but you better make some payments. So they urged her to distance herself from her family, claiming her family members wanted to take her inheritance away from her. She was a rich woman involved in drugs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh man. I didn't even finish reading this article before I picked it.
There was some cult shit on her too.
But this is
isolate you from your family.
At one point, they claimed Judge
control.
Anderson
You versus the world.
The fictional judge would discharge Miss CT confidential to the it's usually CI, which is confidential informant. I don't know what CT stands for. If CT agreed to marry Mr. Oh, I didn't even see this part.
Holy shit! This goes.
Mr. De Leon even carried a weapon in CT's home while providing a protective service for her. So this guy,
protection racket.
He said, "Well, if you marry me."
Yeah, he tried to make her. Oh, this is like, I want to know the real details on this. This is just what the justice.gov. This is fucking on the federal website
Yeah.
what
Just
they
keeps
released,
getting better.
and we can't even.
Where was this again?
Granbury,
Holy shit.
an hour away from us.
Granbury,
Yeah.
Northern
Texas.
District of Texas, which covers Dallas up to Plano, because that becomes Eastern District of Texas, and then it goes as far as Abilene. That's
Jesus.
Northern District of Texas, and it is very. I didn't even read all this,
This is
before
sloppy.
I broke it
This is
to
almost
you.
as complicated as the plots from the TV show Dallas.
Yeah, no, this is fucking crazy, but the dude got 7 years, which is
Fucking good.
He got twice as
Probably
much as
should've got
me.
more.
He got twice as much as me, so fuck him.
How much of that you think he'll actually serve?
No,
Fucking-
it's the feds. You serve 85%. It's actually gone. Trump made it so that you actually go a little, or the administration at that time with criminal justice reform.
Yeah.
You serve a little less than 85% now. But it's 85%. He's not a drug addict, you can't get a year off for the drug program. So this whole thing, yeah, he's gonna do. He got 7 plus 81. Yeah, he'll do 6.5
Yeah.
on a 7
Damn.
plus, if not more.
God damn, man. Yeah.
But
that's-
fuck him. Like,
Good, fuck him.
But the fucked up thing is he's a former FBI agent. He's going straight to a camp. He's gonna fucking.
Yeah.
He'll probably be actually where I was in Club Fed Texarkana.
I was gonna say Club Fed.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Either Texarkana or the camp at Seagoville, which is full of
He'll be getting the good
For
food.
those not familiar, Texarkana is a hybrid of Texas and Arkansas.
And Kansas. Or Louisiana. Louisiana's
Oh, yeah.
the third.
Louisiana's
I,
right
mean,
there.
I was just going by name. but
When
yeah.
I was there, actually, no, it's right by Louisiana. We got Louisiana radio.
It's
while
the
I was there.
confluence of the 3 states. Yeah.
All the major radio stations were Louisiana, Shreveport-based
Yeah.
radio stations.
Dude, man, okay. Well,
But anyway,
This-
that's my. It's not. It is weird because it's this fucking piece of shit ex-Fed using his former power to manipulate this poor woman who apparently, I don't know, it sounds like she was at least caught up in some kind of drug crime. She was involved in drugs, but hey, you know, when you got a bunch of money,
She's been double jeopardized.
but it mentions her inheritance. So she was a woman that had a bunch of money from an inheritance.
That
And he
makes the
wanted to
will you
marry
marry
her.
me or you better marry me
Yes,
thing a
that
little
makes
more.
the sense right
Dude.
Oh, you're my wife now.
So
People
that's
get lonely these
that's
days.
weird. It's gross. And
Evil assholes just can't find a good woman anywhere.
FTF, all the dudes in that system, they would get FTF tattooed on them. Fuck the feds.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say it from the free world. Fuck the feds.
Yeah, not a fan of.
But that's the thing. This guy used to be a fed. He's supposed to be a lawman, and law don't go around here. Law
They
don't.
had to put a fall guy, you know.
Yeah, we're. I guess I'll kind of point a little bit to what we're doing next week, but we're not a true crime podcast, but we are when it kind of crosses over into the world of conspiracy
And weirdness
and
in
just
general.
weirdness in general. But yes, fucking I don't know, the complicated tit for tit relationship or feelings that I
That's
have
two
towards
tits.
yeah. Hey,
Bare tits. Can't go wrong.
hey, as
Never.
you know, the complicated interplay or relationship or feelings that I think most of us here, and I'm speaking for all of us because I think we're all on the same page about law enforcement,
Oh,
but also being like, I'm pretty sure all of us are into true crime. We look into it a lot as well, and there are fucking, I don't know, it's a delicate dance done with a chainsaw.
unless you're a murder detective, the rest of the cops, fuck 'em. I don't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
murder, robbery, crimes against persons. Those are the only people that I like.
My house has been robbed like 4 fucking times.
Yeah.
And no one's ever gonna find your shit. No one's ever gonna.
No.
I just saw another thing about. I don't know if this is. I know Texas is one of the states involved, but they're trying to rewrite all the state laws about what do you call it, squatters
Yeah.
and squatters' rights and shit. And because somebody in Florida, fucking some millionaire dickhead probably, who wasn't staying in his house, gone for months because these people, that's what they do, and somebody moved into his house and tried to call squatters' rights or some shit.
My buddy out in California, he almost got him a nice pad in Pasadena. He lived there for about He lived there for a year before the former owner's family got the notice that the person died. And they're like, "Oh, we're inheriting this house in Pasadena."
Yeah.
And he almost got it, but you know what? He got a grip of money to move out. So
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, the current squatters' rights situation, it can be really hard to extricate someone from your house if they've planted themselves in it.
And a lot of it's I know it's like closely associated with, I'm just gonna say bed and breakfasts. Fucking, I know it's like there's a newer fucking term for that.
It's called Airbnb.
Yeah, Airbnb, like people like moving into rental properties,
vacation
around here
sharing.
Yeah, it's become a huge, at least from what I see on the local.
The house across the street from our studio, the guy,
quote unquote,
a guy lived there for about 3.5 months, maybe 4. After he was evicted, and I had to charge that guy up a few times. He was fucking tweaking. He had these old tweakers fucking barbecuing hot dogs in the front yard.
This is where the interplay between our relationship with the law and how we feel about
life is nuanced.
I don't call cops unless there's
white.
Something real violent going on. I'll go and deal with. I will deal with people on my own because fuck, like I'd rather like dealing with homeless people or any other kind of just random asshole. I'd rather just go talk to him or charge him up myself if it calls for that than call the cops because they're not going to show up. And if they do, I don't want to fuck this whole guy's shit up. I just want him to fucking leave. You know? Like,
and all the paperwork,
I don't have to do any paperwork.
I will say for like our smaller international contingent, like obviously if you listen
shout out
to
my Belgians.
Before,
what's up, y'all?
What's up, Belgium? If you've probably listened to the show before, obviously we're all in Texas. We're from Texas. We're Texans.
Newtown!
You know, America is strongly associated with gunplay, Second Amendments, gun crime. Yes, it is a big thing. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but a lot of people don't realize that the reason that is a thing is because when the King of England, or more, literally fucking our own American government turns against us, and they will eventually one day.
They already have.
They already have.
It's to protect us.
So.
You know what? 3 of my 4 drinks are empty right now.
I myself have some pretty controversial gun opinions, but I'm not going to it too deep. I think they've turned America into a bunch of pussies, mostly, I'm going to say. People need to fucking, I don't know, watch Friday and listen to John Witherspoon's inspirational talk to his son, Ice Cube.
You win some, you lose some. But you live. You live to fight another day.
Yeah.
Boy, you've been smelling my shit for 27 years. You can smell my shit for 5 minutes.
And that's what's weird this week.
All right.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
So yeah, today, sonic weaponry and warfare. Now, a lot of people will probably instantly dismiss this idea because it falls in the realm of psychotronics and mind control and things like that. This actually branches off into a lot of weird places. But the idea of sonic warfare is not that far-fetched. Not when you take it back to the old school and include ideas such as war drums, the Aztec death whistle, which sounds like this. No, wait, I mean like this. Yeah, that's the right one.
That's it.
The Cornix war horn.
Yes.
Yeah, there's all kind, and I mean, you could even equate, the most ancient form of what we know today as rap. Actually started, from what I've heard, people tell me, I don't know, this is probably wrong actually, but Germanic war chants.
I want to kill everyone. Satan is good. Satan is our pal.
They would they'd write rhymes like war poetry and go into war with it. So
like a war. What is it called? The man from Nantucket.
A limerick.
Yeah, war limericks. Knowing the Gaelics.
I would say it's more like the football fight song.
Yeah.
You know, like we all, everybody went to high school. I mean, I didn't finish it, but I went there.
Let's go, Cowboys. Let's go.
Yeah, but that's I guess kind of a way. Yeah, I guess it is.
It involves audio and sonic.
And I mean, anyone who, everyone's probably got their fucking, like, pump-up song, your Get Ready to Go song. Like, I could name several, like,
There's
fucking...
certain notes that kind of bring hairs up,
And if anybody's ever watched any of the medieval shows, like Vikings or fucking... There's the... Like, they bust out the fucking... The war horns.
Or is it Carnix?
Carnix. It's Carnix.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, Little Drummer Boy... There's been drums and horns involved in war. Like, they had a guy
used
always...
for intimidation, but
it's
also
a psychological
communication.
effect.
Yeah.
Also communication within their own ranks. Like in Civil War, this certain drum beat will come out. That means the next round of artillery comes through. Or the archers. They'd be like, summon the archers, and then the archers would hear the tone and come out.
Archers is where the middle finger originally comes from.
Really?
Yeah. Because I forget which battle it is.
No shit.
It's. I know it's one between the French and the
Battle
British.
of Fuck You.
But archers use these two fingers, and
that makes me think
they
more
would
of
chop off one of the fingers.
The British up yours.
Yeah, that's depending on what source you're listening to.
Yeah, the peace sign.
Yeah,
supposedly Aleister Crowley came up with that. Because apparently the two fingers forward is like a
That's
symbol
how you hit
for...
the prostate?
Well,
yeah.
There's
that.
Would be
Aleister
Crowley.
But, supreme power bottom of the OTO.
Yeah, like supposedly it had something to do with the ancient Greek Typhon or something. It's too convoluted to go into here. But yeah, they would cut off the pointer finger of these archers so that when the... I think it was the British. The British would just fucking throw their middle fingers up to the French in this war and be like, yeah, we're still fucking doing it. So, yeah, that's where it supposedly originates from.
How about that?
How about
that?
That's been a history corner.
How about that?
History nugget. The most prominent example of this moving into the realm of modern-day warfare, specifically psychological warfare, which is covering most of our bases today. That's where sound and this stuff kind of interplays. We're going to cover a lot of examples. But in recent history, the most prominent example is probably Havana Syndrome.
Yep. Some meat on that bone.
Yeah, this was, for those who don't know, this was the alleged, sickness that people were coming down with who worked at the U.S. Embassy in Cuba. They think, at least, were the victims of electronic/sonic weaponry.
This was also
directed energy weapons.
Also noted in Russia, China.
Yeah.
And even on American soil, too.
And American soil. There was a lot of notations on people that have possibly experienced this.
Yeah, there was another famous example or outbreak like in the 70s or 80s that happened on United States soil. I can't remember, but a lot of these people who were working at embassies were coming down with what they thought was Legionnaire's disease, because the symptoms of Legionnaire's disease mimic a lot of the symptoms of this. I think it's like that guy who considered himself the luckiest man in the world. Lou Gehrig's disease.
Oh.
So lucky he got a disease that he had to name after himself. Havana Syndrome is the most prominent recent example. I think that was like, what, the aughts?
It was the mid-aughts. Yeah, it was Obama administration.
Yeah. So, and there are sort of unofficial bits and pieces that go alongside of this that have been around way longer. And some of these, I don't know, I'll equate to potentials of side effects or unintended side effects of sonic warfare. Taos, New Mexico is famous for what is called the hum.
The Taos hum.
Yeah. And some people hear it, some people don't, but the people who do hear it, it drives them fucking insane. They can't put up with it. And a lot of people equate this to like underground bases, fucking dumbs, I believe is the proper
like the
nomenclature.
Dulce bass and everything like that. Like secret underground alien.
And only in the last like 10 years or so have I been seeing a lot of shit about sky trumpets or skyquakes that are just like these crazy dragon-like fucking growl noises that come out of the sky if you look into a lot of Christian conspiracy theory shit, then, you know, it's supposedly like the 7 trumpets going off or whatever, but that's a whole fucking kooky realm that we're not even going to bother getting into. The real shit, the verifiable shit, you will see often used in crowd control and squashing riots. Most popularly, what's known as LRADs for long-range acoustic device. These things are fucking annoying. They sound
painfully annoying.
Yeah, I fucking just watching a 20-second
they
video
use them on pirates.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, the LRAD is like if we were looking at the rainbow, this would be like violet, whereas the Havana syndrome is like the ultraviolet. That's like beyond the spectrum. You know?
Yeah, and
the LRAD is really loud and it could damage your hearing. But this Havana syndrome, which my personal theory is that it's microwave radiation from a distance, which has been technically proven, you know.
Yeah.
It's basically like taking apart a microwave and pointing the magnetron, which is what produces the part inside a microwave.
The big fucking thing.
Yeah. You point that at something and it'll direct microwaves wherever you point it.
Yeah. And this is what's
we
like
gotta get some microwaves.
Cooking these people's insides, allegedly.
Yeah,
like,
cooking their brain. It vibrates the water molecules inside their brain to a certain frequency that produces heat, and it basically like cooks part of your brain.
And for those who don't know science good, like most of us,
I don't know science so good.
Yeah, like all vibration, you know, frequency is vibration. All things vibrate. We're all molecules and atoms vibrating at a certain frequency. Yeah, shit like that. This all falls under the umbrella of psychotronic weaponry. That is such a vast thing. Like, we're going to have future episodes that kind of touch on other aspects of this, but this is all about sound today.
See, going into this, I was like, meh. But then actually reading into it, it's like my skeptic is like, oh, most of this is actually pretty real.
There's a lot of quasi-science.
There's a lot of woo-wee woo-woo,
yeah.
Which, Mike, on one of your old episodes of Kooks and Cranks, before we joined, you had said woo-wee woo-woo, and I was like, what the fuck? But I have listened to a lot of other stuff since then, and woo 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 is actually in American English the term for basically like
it's not just a thing we made our friends say because it sounded funny to
us.
No, it's back in middle school.
It's a thing that essentially relates to I don't know, like
new agey.
Yeah, and new agey is always wooey woo woo,
pseudoscientific or mystical
channel kind of stuff.
Yeah. So that's like it is that it gets into that, but for the most part, most of this stuff is pretty fucking factual.
Yeah.
Is a lot of it exaggerated? Absolutely. It's so much exaggerated.
Taken out of context.
Just like anything in the conspiracy world. And we will venture there a little bit, but most of this is actual factual shit. Sound waves are a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
you can go online and look up patents for, you know, that the U.S. government has licensed for various sonic devices. There's a whole Wikipedia article on sonic warfare.
I mean,
active deterrence.
They literally put it on top of a fucking truck and fuck with protesters.
Yeah, that's
and
like
it's a
the
giant
LRADs,
microwave
usually
oven,
what you see.
Basically.
Yeah.
Now,
active denial systems, that was another one. And that goes into some fucking weird conspiracy places. But, like, these are sonic devices that very much like, I know that they sell plug-in pest deterrents and things like that.
Now, and those are on higher frequencies,
Yeah.
and that's where microwaves and sound waves coincide, because microwaves are sound waves, but they're just at a much smaller wavelength.
Yeah. And
which
all
makes
this is
them
on the
oscillate faster than sound waves that we can perceive.
Yeah. All this is on the EM spectrum, electromagnetic, which we'll touch on a little bit later.
Shall we explain what ultrasound and infrasound is? Because that was
that might be good to know.
That would be good.
If you do infrasound, I'll do ultrasound.
Audience, just to let you know, I did not do a whole lot of studying. Mike,
too busy dyeing your hair pink.
Yeah, it's red. It'll be pink in about a week after I watch it a bunch of times.
Chartreuse, dickhead.
Yeah. But I didn't do a lot of studying. I am riding with you guys today because I mean I looked into a little bit, and a lot of this stuff I've heard before.
We got another big episode coming up next week, so this is kind of
Yeah, I've been in that
Seat
one.
of the pants.
Yeah, I've been in that
We're
one.
saving our essential essence.
Essential oils.
Yeah, we're essential oils.
But looking into it, like I am not I can't be Scully this week at all.
Yeah.
I won't be Scully because this stuff is pretty fucking real.
There's
Yeah,
a lot
the-
of good stuff in
There
there. A lot of
again,
meat.
Yeah.
a little gets a little woo woo
As
if you
you
go
know.
far out on any. But anything,
Every grain of truth fucking snowballs into, or people use it as a foundation
Yeah.
for shit. So it's like Project Monarch and MK Ultra. Fucking
Yeah.
one is total bullshit, but
So-
one is unfortunately very real.
Yeah. Before we go into infra and ultrasound, I just want to talk about Havana again.
Yeah. please do.
Havana, some of the symptoms that is associated with this is problems with sleep, cognition, vision, balance. A lot of these people that claim to be targeted by these microwave weapons have extreme vertigo. They feel like they're just going to fall into the sky. Like
That's
they
good.
have no
Yeah.
sense of up or down.
Your
suck.
inner ear regulates your balance. So
Yeah.
fucking
And if that water's
sonic
boiling
weaponry
because someone's
can-
pointing a microwave at it, it's going to send you all haywire.
Pretty much like
headaches.
if I have too many drinks and then I smoke a little reafer and the
room starts spinning.
And the room's spinning like a motherfucker.
That actually is part of your inner ear thing, yeah.
It is.
Sensations of pressure, vibration, some of them get nosebleeds. It's like a brain injury that comes from...
a lot of flu-like symptoms.
Flu-like
stuff
symptoms,
is
too,
what people have reported.
which can be from a disruption in the central nervous system.
Basically, if I'm remembering this correctly, you have the sound spectrum, and infrasound is the lowest. That's anything from 20 hertz below.
And 20 hertz is 20 times per second. A hertz is a cycle per second. So if you're looking at a sine
I'm glad
wave...
you knew that.
Yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
like a wave that goes up and down. So if it's 20 hertz, that means it happens 20 times per second, and that's about where human hearing drops off, where you can't perceive something.
Now is that on the guitar string, like the amount of times the guitar?
Yeah,
string
where this goes
vibrates?
with
Yeah,
the
it's-
music
yeah,
theory,
like when
that's
you look
where...
at high speed video of a guitar string, the whole thing looks like it's going like
Yeah.
this. 20 hertz is at the threshold where human hearing can no longer soak it up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
20 hertz, or above 20 hertz, is basically, I forget what the ultrasonic cutoff is. I think it's,
Over 20K.
over 20K.
Like,
Okay, yeah.
And that degrades as you get older. Like, the older you get, the lower your hearable
We have,
frequency goes.
across the spectrum, like, human beings have a pretty goddamn wide range of what we can hear.
20 hertz to, say, for the mean, like, 18K hertz.
And yeah,
18,000 times per second.
As
Yeah.
you were saying, I did actually go to audio engineering school when I was young.
Down there in Las Colinas.
Yeah, down there in Las Colinas.
Dude, drive on McDonald's.
23 years ago, I went to audio engineering school and learned that I did not want to do that anymore. But
Enough for technology to totally fucking replace itself.
yeah. But yeah, I learned a little bit about that. I don't remember all of it. But as you get older, your hearing, just talking about music in general, or anything, when you're listening to it, it drops. Like the amount, like a baby and a dog can hear, like when you're a baby, you can hear the same things that a dog can. But as you get older, that like even by the time you're a toddler, you're hearing. That's why babies scream a lot, because they're hearing shit you can't hear.
Yeah. And there's actually, there's some weird, theoretical places that some of this goes into. Outside of our hearing spectrum, anything above that is ultrasonic or ultrasound, which is used to look at babies. It's used to break up kidney stones.
That's
it's used
extremely
to
high frequency.
drill teeth.
Yeah.
Fucking all kinds of uses today.
It is so weird to me that
You can find dinosaurs underground with it, too.
Yeah. You can use it to break up your kidney stones. It's scary. It's kind of it's interesting and scary that they can look at your kidney stones and then bust those motherfuckers up, but they could also use that same thing to see your little baby and see if it's got a weenie or a vaggie.
Or that lady in the
tell
Howard
so
Stern movie can sit on the speaker and...
I don't know. I wouldn't say... That's not ultrasound.
That's probably not.
That's
that's well within the...
That's just sound in a horny woman.
But yeah, this does go into weird theoretical avenues where there are people who have basically posited the idea that once we're born into the world, when we leave the womb and are out in the physical world, that creation, existence, whatever you want to call it, everything has a natural vibratory tone and frequency to it that we hear, but since we just go accustomed to it after being in the world for so long.
You don't notice it.
Yeah. So
The air, in fact, technically, we're recording in a non-studio studio.
Yeah.
So the air conditioner is putting out a frequency right now.
That's true.
That is being detected by these microphones. We're not really hearing it. Y'all might hear it.
We're perceiving it though. We're not hearing
Yeah.
it, but we're feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tune a lot of shit out, and I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but we're gonna have a lot of April Fool's tricks and treats.
Yep.
I want to kill everyone. Satan is good. Satan is our pal.
So yeah, like outside of LRADs and active denial systems, things like that, and like we said, this is going to get us some weird theoretical places. However, one thing that is not theoretical, this is proven technology that has been utilized in ad campaigns. There is a phenomenon, I guess for lack of a better word, called the microwave auditory effect. And this has been encapsulated with technology known as V2K, which stands for voice to skull.
Holosonic.
Yeah. So I think the most prominent example, like the most famous one I can think of, there was a famous Times Square advertisement for the Paranormal Activity franchise, I think. But there was an area, it's basically a single area. When you walk by it, the sound is concentrated into a fucking very specific beam. And when you walk into that area, you hear the sound inside your own skull.
It vibrates your cochlear.
Yeah.
Your gut?
Your cochlear.
Vibrating cock. Got it.
Yeah. Vibrating, pulsating cocks.
There's another device that you sent me that video on, that the thing that like fucks up your speech.
The speech disruptor, yeah.
Yeah.
That shit's fucking like.
And that's operating off the same principle. This thing's pretty fucked up too. We'll include a link for a video.
Voice to skull. Okay, where was this used?
Other than that Times Square advertisement,
Times Square.
that's the most popular instance I know.
It's like
of.
they can pinpoint it. So if you walk on the X, you hear the thing that they're transmitting.
And then the speech disruptor works on the same principle, except that you are supposed to be talking, and then you hear your own voice like doubled up in your head. I believe that's how the principle works. But the voice to skull thing. This is where you start getting into the strange world of gang stalking and like
TIs.
directed energy weapons, targeted individuals, chosen ones.
You can have whatever you like.
God, these fucking people.
Yeah, that was a good TI song.
That is a good song.
It makes my head move, so it's good.
Yeah, V2K is, I would say, probably the most insidious. That voice jammer or speech jammer thing is pretty fucked up too.
And that's
like,
voice to skull too. I mean, that's just straight up like you pointed at the guy's head and they can't talk anymore.
It's basically using your own skull and inner ear as a receptor area,
like a tuning fork, so to speak.
So with the speech jammer, like there's a video we'll include. Once it kicks in, you are basically hearing your own voice in your head doubled up. I believe that's how it works, if I'm getting the gist of it. And it just throws you off, basically.
Researching all this, it just got me so, like, conscious of all the things around me that could be, projecting all these different frequencies.
Big data.
How is that affecting my brain, my life, my function? Like, all of those things, your sleep, all of these things actually affect those things. Mm-hmm. And that is kind of frightening because we live in a electrified world where everything puts off a frequency. Like, now that I've actually looked into it just a touch, and I haven't even gone deep, I've just looked into a touch.
Oh, man.
And it's pretty,
the implications are...
Pretty...
because of the implications.
Yeah, because of the implications. Very frightening.
Pretty implicated.
So V2K is probably the most well-known insidious application of this. Like we said, it's the...
Most well-mentioned.
Yeah. Like we said, there's also plenty of patents for shit that may or may not exist or has been brought into existence through the use or machinations of engineers. But V2K... being a sort of direct, specific target application of this stuff, this is what a lot of gang stalking people claim is being used against them. And like we said, like this is just one fractional part of psychotronic weaponry and things like that. We're just doing the sound stuff today. We'll get into more of it later down the road. But yeah, these chosen ones, quote unquote, or targeted individuals. I'll include a couple links to videos to some of these fucking insufferable people as well.
These poor fucks.
Yeah, it's either
poor fucks, or they're poor fucks because they have delusions.
Yeah,
and they are not mentally well.
There's legitimately sick people. I've met some of these people who, you know, seriously think that they're.
I've met a couple of them in the booby hatch when I was in there.
Yeah, fucking. I worked with a guy at the liquor store. Oddly enough, he was from Poland, so I'll give him he lived there during. Well, he was. I don't mean it that way. He was there under when it was a Soviet fucking.
How many poles did it take to paint a house?
How many?
One to hold the paintbrush and $499 to move the house back and forth.
Hey, we can still make fun of them. They're white people, right?
Yeah. Hey. But you can't see the blazon in my nose. Anyways, so gang stalking, targeted individuals, like I said, this runs the whole gamut of various psychotronic devices, and that's like, let alone physical meat space, fucking doxing, or just like we said with the eBay story and what's weird this week.
Physical meat space.
That's what.
This is beyond like the few credible instances of gang stalking.
Yeah, but I think the
invisible actors. Working
agents of Satan. That's what I see a lot.
A lot of them go satanic. Yeah.
Of
they either go governmental or satanic.
This targeted individual phenomenon, I think, is very endemic of the age we live in. I mean, obviously, it's not a thing that was.
This shit didn't happen before YouTube and shit and social media.
Yeah, it was only directly involved with like people who were diagnosed schizophrenics, and like there's documentation of that from before. Like I talked about a guy way back in the day named. I can't remember. He's always like the Frankenstein communist radio microwave. Like he just always says Frankenstein and communist something or other, computerized gangster god.
Now
Francis Deck.
It makes me think of all the people that are like, oh, I'm autistic or I'm fucking ADD.
Yeah,
it's the same type of thing.
It's not to say it's not real or it doesn't happen, but
it's mostly a narcissistic or a self-diagnostic thing to be like, look, I am. Pay attention to me.
It's like the confession killers, It's like they want to latch on and they want
that strawberry milkshake so bad. Plus, I don't know. There may be my own thing on the confession killers is that police love those people because it's like, hey, red ball, black ball, red ball, black ball.
Yeah, well, they say Bundy. Could have very well have claimed more deaths than he actually committed.
Yeah, well,
always
all of them.
And then Henry Lee
Lucas. Yeah, he because he wanted his fucking milkshake.
Yeah,
he's already screwed. He might as well go for the gusto.
Exactly.
But most of these people that are claiming this stuff are not screwed at all. They're just fucking.
It's narcissistic, delusional.
Yeah,
they want to be the best.
Exactly. It's main character syndrome, like you said earlier. Yeah. And one of the videos I watched of these people who call themselves chosen ones, like this woman is just prattling on about like, why do they gang stalk us? Why do they follow us? Because we're unique and we inspire jealousy in other people. It took all fibers of my being not to start trolling these people in the comments like, maybe just because you suck, you're assholes.
Or maybe it's not happening at all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that, like... you got to be a player to have haters. So these people.
It's not anything I need to change about my own shitty personality.
These people are claiming that they're players because they have haters when they don't really have haters at all. Yeah. They're just saying they have haters
it's always,
so that they could be a player.
Yeah, it's always easier to externalize your problems as opposed to looking inward. So
they mention or they claim a lot of these things are psychotronically based because of government patents that have come out for psychotronic. for the idea of psychotronic weapons, not really patenting a particular device
a lot
or
of
a
this
mechanism.
stuff is still in the realm of
But
theoretical.
there is stuff in the patent logs and government reports, the CIA thing about psychotronic weapons, but so they use these tiny little straws that they're grasping for, based in like paperwork bedrock.
Building their house of fucking bricks on a shaky foundation.
Yeah, they're saying, well, the government had this thing, so this is what's happening. You know, they're drawing links that aren't there to fulfill their own
need
story
for
line.
Attention or whatever. Or
their
the attention
delusional
they're not
storyline.
getting.
Yeah, like all conspiracy theorists, they're picking up on something that has a grain of truth and running with it.
And then only when people as super smart as me learn to see the truth.
Yeah.
And it snowballs from there.
It's only because of me.
Yeah.
Me.
I'm enlightened.
I see through
I'm
the
an
bullshit.
indigo child.
Yeah, oh god, don't get me started.
Don't even get me.
I almost
Don't even
spit out
joke.
one of my 4 drinks.
Chris almost did a 1 out of 4 spit take over
Now,
me.
once again, I'm not saying this shit doesn't happen. That's not what we're saying, because there are plenty of documented cases.
There's
as
some.
mentioned
I wouldn't.
before.
Plenty is a stretch.
I would say that eBay case is a real Davy Goliath situation that most people equate it to being. It's always some vast, vague, ephemeral,
That's
fucking
the rally
intangible,
cry. Yeah.
giant entity.
That's the
versus
one thing
them.
where like, see?
Yeah. Generally, with gang stalking cases, it's just a bunch of dickheads on the internet. And I don't know. The more I was like watching these videos about gang stalking, I was thinking about it, like, if I were to get gang stalked, I probably wouldn't even fucking notice these dudes do anything. I don't know. I'm just like so self-absorbed, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I'm just fucking looking at my phone or doing whatever I'm doing. So
I have literally been surveilled before.
Dude, every time I think of police surveilling someone under investigation, it reminds me of I think it's Casino when Robert De Niro walks by, like, "Hey, Momos!" Knocks on the cop car.
No, I've literally been surveilled before. I didn't notice the shit, and this thing I was looking for it. But like
my
at the
phone
same
made
time,
a clicking sound while I was talking, so that means they're recording.
Yeah, you don't get the clicking sound anymore because I was caught on the phone too, and
I've got that shit on my phone where it's like it does the fucking crazy noise like plenty of times.
It's just a bad signal or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
someone sending a fax over the phone line.
that's the thing. I have literally been surveilled before, and didn't notice it. Didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Now, see, I have a half brother who I'm kind of estranged from. He believes that he's being tracked and traced. Whenever he sees
He's out now.
Yeah, he's been
I've
out.
been meaning to ask you about that.
Yeah, well, he's gone like really bad schizophrenic, unfortunately, the last few years. He thinks people are following him. Any car that has a dealer tag on it, the paper tag, he thinks those are government agents following him.
How old is he?
He's like 47.
Well, he was in prison for many years, right?
Yeah, and he had a long, illustrious career with methamphetamine.
They don't give you the treatment you need in there.
Yeah.
Like, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, mental health
Reagan
treatment
closed down all the fucking things.
Yeah.
So the people that really needed to be in a mental facility where they could be treated do not, and they end up in our correctional system. And again, like I said, it sucks for your regular criminal inmates who are just in there for a drug crime or
little B&E,
a little
bacon and eggs,
little something here or there.
Turn into scrambled eggs.
Criminal bad.
Yeah, but I mean,
bad decision, and then
they're fucking fighting their own Armageddon in their head. So I mean, it's
but that's
not easier for them.
It goes out to the other inmates. It's not fun. When you're in with somebody that has those mental problems, because they're supposed to be somewhere else, but you're in there dealing with them, saving their piss jars. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucking, what's his name?
You
Howard
got
Hughes.
changed for a toenail.
Wasn't Howard Hughes the guy that had all the piss jars?
Yeah, no, I don't remember the name of the guy that I was with that saved all his piss jars, but I eventually had to throw him out, and so it was just like,
There's another weird guy that you talked about who saved all this. Anyways, that's another story.
Yeah.
So, there was one more video I saw about an individual, this woman who thought she was being gang stalked. She thought that her upstairs neighbor somehow had surveillance on her, like video surveillance, because she was walking around her apartment and she's recording this on her phone. And everywhere she walked, she thought that the neighbor was walking around with her. And then you read the comments and it's like, maybe you're just obsessing on your fucking upstairs neighbor. So there's that too. It's a whole obsessive compulsive thing as well.
People's brains are...
It's natural, I think, for people to go for the most me-centric thing.
Of course,
Sure,
of
yeah.
course.
But once again,
Ego-driven.
there is some fucking reality to this. This is a bit of a tangent, but I thought it like went in well with Sonic Warfare. The whole interconnected nature between telecommunications and the occult. This has been a thing since telecommunications started. When radio was first discovered, you know, people... This is also around the same time as spiritualism, that both of these things sort of became big.
yeah.
People, you know, there's the myth, as far as we know, of Edison creating the necrophone to talk to spirits on the other side. There is, however, the very well documented instance of Tesla talking to Martians or Venusians. I can't remember.
Martians.
Would one of you fellows like to break that down to me, because I did not get to... I skimmed it.
Yeah.
I did not get to go into it.
Yeah, there's
So,
actually a whole...
Break it down for me, for the audience.
I think it's from Scientific American, like when it first started or whatever. I could be wrong on the
It's like
magazine.
1919 type shit.
But
Nice.
Tesla goes into this. He breaks down this whole in a one-on-one interview with this magazine about how he was just basically messing around in his lab and playing with different frequencies and broadcast transmissions or whatever. And he made direct contact with I can't remember if it's
They were
Venus
Martian.
or Mars.
Martian.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty
I was
sure.
like, damn, Venus or Mars, fucking having a
No, Saturn.
fucking chilly death
Men are from
flashback.
Mars.
Yeah, but he apparently had like straight up verbal transactions with these Martians, I guess.
Yep.
So, for lack of a better
Did they
term.
speak English?
Yeah. Now, yeah,
To
exactly.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying there's any credence to this, but like we said, radio was discovered hand in hand with the the boom in spiritualism, and the two go together very well. And it's not like a new thing. I mean, sound and music and the paranormal have always had a
All of
long
this is-
It's like any new
history.
technology. It's like, oh, it's the devil.
I mean, you go back to Pythagoras. He's the one who came up with the idea of the music of the spheres, which is going to play into something we'll talk about later. But you also have Hildegard of Bingen, who is, I think that's how you say it, is one of the few female saints out there. But she's the one who's basically incorporated the importance of music into the Catholic Church, etc.
Is that like the tarantulism stuff?
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. Tarantism.
Tarantism.
Yeah.
The
fucking,
tarantulism.
Tarantinoism.
Yeah. Don't say the N-word so many times.
And let's suck on some feet.
Hell yeah, I suck toes.
Yeah. No, yeah, the dancing hysterias and shit
Yeah, the
like that.
nonstop.
Yeah. So
Some of them said they heard music in their head that they couldn't stop.
And there's a famous sort of concept in classical music, and I may have this wrong. Listeners, please correct me if that's the case. But there's something called like the Devil's Trill or something like that, which
Trill?
is
Like Bun B trill?
yeah, trill is a word that's been
Thank you,
around.
bass guy.
True and real.
Yeah, I know. But trill is a word that's associated with sound.
So they're keeping it true?
Yeah, like a trill is like,
yeah,
like that's
basically.
called a trill.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah, a high-pitched,
That's not Bun B.
They're keeping it jihad.
That's not Bun. That is not Bun B.
Yeah, no, there's something called the Devil's Trill that's like a certain overlay of frequencies, and this will come into play again later, but it's very dissonant, like, just it like drives people crazy. And this has been used in classical music before, but what I know about classical music would just about squeeze in the Grand fucking Canyon. So, moving on. You have Tesla, Marconi, the whole Martians, ghosts, and Edison's necrophone thing. Like we said, this is all very interrelated, and this is where we also get into the concept of infrasound once again. Most scientific inquiries into places that are considered haunted locations, haunted houses, etc., have been mostly proven in most instances. It's one of the things that most plumbers, paranormal investigators, look into.
My dad's a plumber. Don't you disparage plumbers at all.
Hey, man.
Maybe we should bring him in for
I got nothing against plumbers. One of my best friends is a plumber. Well, not best friend, family friend.
Is his name Mario?
No.
That little mustache. Luigi. Oh, okay.
No, yeah, these old pipes and old houses and shit, they vibrate on a certain frequency. And I don't remember the scientist's name, but he was one of the guys who sort of confirmed this. He was working out of he set up a makeshift laboratory in an undisclosed location, and he noticed that anytime he was there by himself, without other people talking, in the silence, it just filled him with a sense of dread and paranoia and anxiety, and he didn't like it. And it turns out that a lot of it was related to a fan that was operating. Yeah.
Not his fan.
Yeah,
Must have been a low
not his
speed
only
fan.
not
fan.
his number one.
Not
fan.
his only fan. But it was an actual fan. See, this is where all this really actually is interesting to me, and my skeptic has dissolved. Because all of this is pretty realistic, and it's scientifically backed, and does it get a little woo-woo, and can the people manipulate it, which we will get into the guy that manipulates it into a woo-woo situation, and conspiracy. There's several. But
I love the woo-woo-woo.
But I really like this topic because I can't fucking break it down to bullshit.
You can't shoot it down all the way.
I can't shoot it down all the way because it's realistic. This stuff is actually, it's very interesting. It's very scary.
And
and it makes me think about all the things that are putting off frequencies around me.
Yeah.
Will I go all worrying about all the frequencies in my life? No, I will not. But I will think about it just a little bit.
If you had like a sort of predator vision for like all the electromagnetic bullshit going on around you,
then your shit would be
cacophony.
So distorted you would not be able to see anything.
When I wear my Bluetooth headphones and then I hit my little vape stick, my little view stick, I can hear it.
It puts
while I'm inhaling while it's working.
I didn't even think about everything. There's all these lamps around us, the television, the fucking stereo.
The voltage going through the walls is at 60 hertz, which is 60 cycles per minute, where it goes from highest power to lowest power.
Yeah, when you get into the whole electromagnetism or extremely low frequencies, ELF, HARP, this is a whole other side of this.
The whole thing that got me into conspiracy as a child was my grandmother, Grandma Joan. Shout out. She's not listening, but I'm giving her a shout out because
Mrs. Joan.
Thank you. But she put me up because she was talking about being under, they had power lines over, and she put me on with that and the Manhattan Project and fucking aliens and all that stuff. She put me on with all that, but one of the main things she talked about was the electricity going above and how it fucked up her sleep.
Yeah.
They had power lines above this house she had.
That's widely documented.
And it
was it
fucked
did you
up
grow
her
up under
sleep.
power lines when you were a kid?
Yeah. It's a real. There is real reality to that.
Yeah.
There is all this stuff. I can't say that it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Because there's some parts of it that
That's why they got you.
They got me. They got me. Y'all got me on this one. You got me on this one, Mike.
Chris the skeptic. Yeah.
I'm the skeptic. I can only shoot down little parts of this. I'm looking at our outline right now.
Yeah.
On the screen.
Oh, we have some definite bullshit.
There is some definite bullshit in there. But I cannot shoot it down because this is real stuff.
Yeah.
This is 100% real stuff that actually affects you. And if you really think about it, think about all the frequencies that are buzzing around you. Right now we are surrounded by electricity. There is fucking screens.
Yeah.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
the
13,
Earth itself.
14, 15, 16, 17,
like
18, 19. We're over 20. I just did a quick count. We got over 20 electronic devices around us, and every single one of them puts off just a touch. And that's not counting the power
radiation.
Power lines behind the house, the electricity wires in the wall. Every single one of those actually puts off a little bit of something. The air conditioner puts off a
it almost makes me wonder about electromagnetic sensitivity people, like the real life tinfoil hat people.
Not the y'all seen Better Call Saul?
Yeah, his brother.
Yeah, his brother was like freaking out about it. Well, that was a mental problem. But there is a little bit of truth to that.
By the way, tinfoil hats, they don't make tinfoil anymore. It's all aluminum, and
it's all aluminum. There's no such thing as tinfoil.
So yeah, if you wrap aluminum foil around your head, you're actually making yourself more susceptible to this kind of shit. But
you gotta get yourself a Faraday cage.
Yeah, you gotta you need copper.
But yeah, infrasound,
which is expensive as fuck right now. Go ask a crackhead.
Don't give me stuff.
Go to a construction site and rip it out of the walls. Infrasound occurs in nature. There's natural versus artificial. The most commonly, referred to in nature. Is that you?
That was Spencer.
Okay.
I just made my own
audio.
Ultrasonic sound.
Audio. He just made an ultrasonic sound. We're looking around.
The infrasound that occurs naturally has usually been associated with things like lions and tigers roaring,
and bears. Oh my!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like a lion's roar is at a certain low frequency.
Yeah,
infrasonic.
People, like when you hear it in nature, other than being scared shitless,
fucking terrifies me.
Yeah. And elephants use it to communicate without making noise that we can hear.
But that's the thing. What I was reading is they actually, it's like there's what we can hear, but they actually have a part leading up and finishing that we can't hear to the lion's roar.
Too infra.
Yeah,
there is. Yeah,
that's the part that's supposed to scare you inside and shit.
Yeah, it's the below what you actually hear before the roar. There is actually a sound that your body feels.
It's super low frequency but high power, so you still feel it in your body and in your brain.
You feel it before you actually hear it.
Yeah, and infrasound, like we said, it's associated with a lot of paranormal activity. It doesn't explain all paranormal activity.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But
stuff like feelings of dread, fear, anxiety, feeling like there's a presence in the room with you, and in a lot of instances, from what I've read, it can actually cause the eyeballs to vibrate and cause visions of apparitions or full roaming torso vapors, I believe they're called. So
wait, that lady that stacked the books funny?
Mm-hmm. Get her! Good plan. This is going to be kind of our foundation going into some of the more theoretical shit, but this is the real kernels of truth that we know of. This is where we kind of get into the woo-woo shit and the theoretical weaponizations of this kind of stuff. The first part we're going to get into is a device, an alleged device, known as the Feraliminal Lycanthropizer. I'm not gonna lie, this was
it sounds fake as fuck.
Feraliminal Lycanthropizer.
The only thing I found was fake as fuck.
Yeah,
but I know the Nazis had to have been on this shit.
They were digging into it. Yeah,
Albert
seriously.
Speer, the Nazi Minister of Armament, was in the process and actually achieved building sonic weapons. They were never deployed.
Things got a little tough in Germany in fucking 39 to 45.
Yeah, something stopped him before he could finish his research.
American gumption, that's what.
Russian.
Yeah, the Russians big part.
You know what? That kind of explains some stuff we're going to talk about later. But yeah, the Feraliminal...
Hey, maybe the Russians got it from the Krauts.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep. Well, Project Paperclip didn't just go to America.
Exactly.
We had a deal.
It swings both ways.
With the Russians to divide the best fucking scientists. Of course, America...
So they could fuel the Cold War, the weapons race.
Yeah, because we were already anticipating the next war.
Yeah.
Which was with the Russians, because you can't have two swinging dicks at a party.
We defeated the Nazis. No, we defeated the Nazis.
You can, but global politics at the time ain't that kind of party.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, well, I'm not going to get to Cold War.
It's still not that kind of party.
Yeah. The Feraliminal Lycanthropizer is based off of theoretical Nazi Wunderwaffen, or wonder weapons. Basically, the underlying principle of this device is that it underlaid or interspliced two different frequencies to create a third, which I didn't know this was a thing. I thought I made this up, but to create what I was calling a red sound, but apparently there's already a red sound.
Probably
much
not
like,
the same
or,
one you're talking about.
No, yeah, red noise is what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know anything
Kind
about
of
the
like
red
the
noise.
brown noise makes you poop because it affects you. It's a subsonic noise that
And
makes
there's
you
a
poop your
different
pants.
brown noise named after a guy
Yeah.
with the last name of Brown that it won't make you shit.
Or white noise helps you fall asleep.
And the brown noise isn't 100. It does affect your stomach.
won't
and
make you
bowels.
not
Those LRADs and active denial
Yeah, they
systems.
fuck your
Yeah.
stomach up.
Well,
Like, they make you feel
are
it.
they? Because I thought the LRADs were just really loud sirens.
No, there's other
like ear splitting.
One
like,
of the things
make
I
your
listened
ears
to,
bleed.
Mythbusters did the brown noise fucking test.
They fuck your guts up.
It's you know what, I will invoke Mythbusters a little bit, and I will say that they are kind of factual.
Terry.
I'll give them credit. They did not poop their pants, but
Yeah.
it made them feel very fucking dumb.
Yeah, the shit like we said earlier, like, you know, your inner ear and your balance and nausea,
Yes.
all that shit is connected. So when I read about this ferroliminal lycanthropizer, I basically postulated that it creates what I was calling a red noise. So as white noise makes you calm down and fall asleep, a red noise, or the, you know, effects of this ferroliminal lycanthropizer, are supposed to basically invoke a fucking animalistic. It's called a lycanthropizer, and it basically turns you into a fucking werewolf. And allegedly, according to the stories of this thing being used, every time it was used, people either they just started fucking like crazy or tearing each other apart. It was an orgy of
Tore 'em down
sex.
to their
or
base.
violence.
Now that's
lizard brain kind of shit.
Yeah. This ferroliminal lycanthropizer, it was first proposed in a street zine that was related to this music theory guy. I forget his name, but there is an actual ferroliminal lycanthropizer
German
wiki. Actually, I don't know. I don't think so. There's a wiki page on it that'll tell you everything you need to know, but it's predominantly bullshit. However, this has not stopped Nicholas and Zena Schreck, Zena formerly LaVey, of Anton LaVey and the Church of Satan.
She's the clone of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Of the Satan elevation.
Yeah. Taylor Swift is her clone.
They came up with a theoretical idea that they were calling Radio Werewolf, and they actually like put on some big show in 1988.
That sounds like a fun fucking time, Radio Werewolf.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Sounds
named
like
after
a German dance club.
Yeah, it's named after a fucking horrible Nazi thing, but Satanism plays with Nazi imagery just for shock value predominantly, unless you're talking like Order of Nine Angles or a bunch of assholes
like punk
that.
rock in the 70s.
Yeah. Look into it further. We'll throw it in the wiki article, show notes. I also wanted to give a quick honorable mention to things like EVP and the Spiricom and Rodeve noises. Predominantly, I think EVP is bullshit. I think it's pareidolia.
What is EVP?
Electronic voice phenomenon. Like when paranormal investigators, they put
like
on
when you slow down a tape 100 times.
The whole ghost bro bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's come and get me if anybody's here. Come and get me.
Yeah.
It's just catching errant radio waves, etc., floating around us is the predominant theory, at least. The idea of the ferroliminal lycanthropizer, like we said, some of this stuff is built
pretty much
on real shit. But yeah, it's an urban legend, basically.
The Nazis were probably working on something.
It's like Die Glock.
They did
the bell. It's right up there.
Instead of using sound waves, they just gave all their guys meth, and that turned them into fucking animals.
That got them vibrating.
It was called
Pervitin.
They put it in chocolates.
Did you know that Bayer Pharmaceutical invented heroin? And it's called heroin because it's supposed to make you feel like a hero.
Yeah.
But then when you're off it,
you're not a hero no more.
Yeah. You won't go from zero to hero.
You're
back to zero real quick.
Shitting yourself.
Primordial muck. From there, we have what, and actually, this timeline, we're going to jump around a little bit.
We're bouncing around a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Before World War II, allegedly, the Rockefeller Foundation, this is when they set everything from what was for centuries and years and years and years all throughout history, the vast majority of music was set at 432 hertz. But the Rockefeller Foundation allegedly changed this globally, which is just already weird.
Was
because
it? Okay.
No, it was originally 440.
I know.
Oh, they changed it
to 432
okay,
to bring us down to a lower vibrational frequency.
I heard vice versa because 432 is supposed to be the better. Or
whatever. Well, I didn't get to fully go into as a somebody that understands music a little bit, like let's say
Better than us.
a little bit. It was a whole fucking thing. They had conferences. There was legislation in Italy. Like, there was literally legislation involved with the 432 versus 440 hertz tuning of the symphonies and operas. Yep. I mean, it was a governmental thing to regulate what hertz the operas and symphonies were set at. As far as I understand, it was just to make it more uniform, so that everybody's tuning their fucking.
There was no real insidious.
Yeah, there was not an insidious plot. But if you all you have to do is, because all I did was hit in the Google and then went in especially when I went into Instagram, X, and all the socials and hit the 440 versus 430. That's when you get the woo woo shit.
Yeah,
it's like
that's when you get the woo woo pseudo Nazi shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Because one of the things that popped up was that it wasn't Rockefellers, it was the Red Shields.
Rothschild.
The Rothschilds.
And this is where, this is a little on through, I mean, while we're talking about it now, I might as well cover it. But later on down the timeline, you have a crazy fucking asshole who is a perennial presidential candidate for years in this country named Lyndon LaRouche. Did an episode on him way back in the day with the older guys.
You did?
Yeah. Dude, that's how fucking crazy he is.
I don't even remember that one.
He's fucking insane. Yeah, he said that, like, AIDS patients should be cattled up into fucking concentration camps and shit like that. Oh. All kinds of fucking
Devil's
crazy
Island.
shit. Yeah, his wife, or ex-wife, I can't remember which one, but they started this group called the Schiller Institute that went on a whole campaign to fucking change everything back to...
432.
Yeah, they wanted to change everything to 432 back from what the Rockefeller Foundation did.
And there was so much information on this that I couldn't...
Yeah,
I only briefly looked into it because, I'm interested in music and the audio thing. But the 440...
8 hertz. An 8 hertz difference
created
a whole vast subculture conspiracy.
It's all on actual just tuning of your instruments is what it's based on. And, like...
Cymatics.
It's because you have to skip. You have to skip, like, for each tune, you have to skip a bit. And if you start at 432, it skips. But I cannot explain it. But they were saying that was their thing, was that the music at the time was tuned to 440, which is fucked up. And that's what made all the hippies and all the bullshit. But when I just, my quick little Google search said that the Beatles and fucking Pink Floyd were actually at 432 still.
Yeah.
They didn't jump into the 440 shit yet. So they were all still tuned at 432. So it kind of like discredits them a bit. But
I've seen so many conflicting
that's the
things
thing.
on this.
It's so conflicting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't hear 432 between 440 in my own ear because I don't know. I've heard a lot of gunshots and fucking loud music in my life. I've been to a lot of punk shows right by the speakers, and I shot a lot of guns, so I can't hear very well.
Just for illustrative purpose, real quick, this is a 432, and this is a 440.
There it is.
And for later reference, this is a 528. So, yeah, the whole reason Lyndon LaRouche basically... this all fits into his whole... The British, like... Take every, how every conspiracy is like the Jews did it. He was like the British royal family are the biggest drug dealers in the world. And the British royal family, working with Aldous Huxley and the Beatles, created a counterculture in America. And
British royal family has no power, and they haven't in like 100 fucking something years.
It's because his first wife left him for a British dude. And I think that's what fucking really
just
was
like the fucking Saturn guy.
Yeah, Troy McClure.
Yeah, Troy McClure. Troy McClure. Fucking Troy McLaughlin. Was just upset with bankers because you know what? Probably his credit score is really bad. And you know what? There is so much stuff to be said about the agendas of everybody that speaks about anything.
Exactly. That's why I totally advocate conspiracy theory literacy. Consider the source.
Yeah. And
fucking look into them if you can.
Believe nothing of what you see and nothing of what you hear because you never know who's making up what. Honestly, I don't believe in anything. I don't believe anything other than...
Belief is a powerful tool.
It is. And
he's a nihilist. He believes in nothing.
I believe in nothing. Really, I don't believe in anything other than what I see right here, right now, and what I'm functioning in. I am skeptical about everything else that can't be seen, and I will consider it, but I will usually dismiss it because
all things considered,
if it's not right here, right now, then it's not my life. And
But it is!
yeah, I guess it is sometimes.
Crowley was a piece of shit, but he did say belief is the death of knowledge, and that's one of the few things I tip my hat to, because once you believe something...
I respect that, because the
that's
old
a good one. Yeah.
Socrates, knowing is knowing that you know nothing. And I know that I know nothing about everything.
The more you know you don't know shit.
Yeah, it's where,
Well, but then there was the G.I. Joe, the more you know.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm thinking of something
No.
else.
You know what? If G.I. Joe didn't say it to me, I don't fucking believe it, okay?
And learning is half the hassle. Around the same time that Rockefeller supposedly introduced this, or the Rockefeller Foundation, introduced this idea, I believe it was Edward Bernays, the father of modern...
Sauces?
I was about to say, that's a sauce,
the
right?
sausage king of
Bernays is
Chicago.
a hollandaise with a reduction of tarragon versus a reduction of just pure lemon.
Yes, but that's
Beautiful.
delightful. Edward Bernays.
very
It's a
good.
creamy, buttery sauce with tarragon.
Edward
Delicious
Bernays.
on his steak.
All right, maybe next week.
Yeah.
Tonight we're having chili dogs.
He's a horrible piece of shit. He's basically the father of modern PR and shit like that. How everything that we see is guided by perception, basically, which is true.
Yeah.
But he's one of the first people who talked about use of subliminal advertising, and this technically falls under the umbrella psychotronic or sonic warfare. Something else we wanted to mention was cymatics.
So Spencer is
Real science.
He's got something on the screen right now.
So this is what you call a tonoscope. And this is basically a thin diaphragm with sand sprinkled on it that's suspended over a speaker system that can produce certain tones.
We'll
And as
include
you
this in
notice,
show notes as well.
with every different variation of hertz, of frequency, you get a different pictorial image. A lot of these TIs, targeted individuals, they use stuff like this to see, sound can change you. If you want to see why my mind has been affected by sound, just look at this sand on the diaphragm.
It's really interesting, the different sounds. And to do a callback, the theory is that the top of Saturn, the storm on Saturn, that is the hexagram or hexagon, is because of the certain frequency that Saturn puts off, and it creates
that's
the
440.
And the hexagram, I forget what exact hertz puts out, but people have done it.
It does put out electromagnetic sound.
It puts out a thing, and you can develop all these patterns through just audio frequency. So this shit, it's very interesting to me. Audience, take it in while you can, because normally my skeptic ass is not on any of this woo-woo bullshit of anything, but this topic specifically is got me where I'm like, huh.
And actually, cymatics, to break it into a somewhat believable and total bullshit part, at least I think so. Cymatics has also been introduced into the theories of, I think it's Osaku... the guy who did the Shape of Water, or whatever it's called. Because the dude that came forward and said that...
Is that where that fucking amphibian fucked a woman?
No, that's the Shape of Water.
Shape of Water.
Okay.
Maybe it's the Life of Water. Maybe that's
no, that's the Life of Pi. You're thinking of the Sound of Water. There is a Sound of Water.
So basically...
A lady fucked a frog, right?
Yeah. And then Frankenstein got mad. So basically, cymatics comes into play with the whole theory set behind the Sound of Water, because much like the slime from Ghostbusters 2, Vigo, you know that shit. If you play or talk nicely to these water molecules, when they are frozen, if you talk nicely to them, they form much more exact, beautiful, geometrically precise shapes. But if you talk negatively, if you talk shit to them, they form these weird, globular, like just depressing looking lumps.
Asymmetrical. Yeah.
So there is somewhat.
There's a little.
The total bullshit part. If you read David Icke's The Biggest Secret.
Ugh.
The concept of cymatics basically is his whole underlying idea behind how reptilians shapeshift into human form. Because there's some kind of... It all has to do with, like...
They do like a cymatics over the TV waves.
Yeah, it's a, fifth dimension, or fifth density and vibrational frequencies.
Wait. Real quick. Is Puff Daddy reptilian?
Well, obviously. I mean, you've been watching the news lately.
Oof.
He's definitely letting his lower, baser animal...
I will do a P. Diddy update. The P. Diddler. Update on
Step Diddler.
next week.
Diddler
So,
in
yeah.
chief.
Cymatics...
No, we can't do Step Diddler anymore because Pornhub is not accessible in
Damn.
Texas anymore.
Oh, yeah. Extended audience. I guess we should mention this. Like,
We
I didn't
should.
even know about this till you told me, but there's all these porn sites that are being blocked out in the state of Texas
We
in
cannot
order
access...
to, quote-unquote, protect children.
We cannot access mainstream porn sites that don't show gaping buttholes.
If
on
I'm
the-
going to go
on
on
the main
Pornhub
page.
and watch stepmothers squirt into stepdaughters' faces on Pornhub via the Girls' Way channel,
What?
I can't do it anymore.
The really fucked up thing about this is nothing about this was in the news outlets. There was no fucking notice of like,
I don't
hey,
know what
we're
news
voting
outlets
on
you
it.
Yeah, like literally, I was on
blown
Pornhub the night before, and I was
There should have
utilizing
been at
it.
least like, hey, we're voting on this internet
Spencer
thing.
was doing research.
I was doing deep research, and then the next morning I went to go back for another taste of that deep research, and it was fucking closed.
Hey,
and it
man.
said something about the state of Texas, this is horse shit.
Hey,
But see,
they came for the porn sites, and I did nothing.
Well, what's
they
happening-
came for my podcast, and I could do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So fucking, you never know, man.
I love the great state of Texas, but goddamn
But
that.
see what's happening.
You know what?
because
Also,
of
let
that,
me
I did a little
refer
bit
you
of
to the
research.
Doug Stanhope joke about cock fingering. That'll tell you everything you need to know, basically, about what's going on behind this.
Let's just.
It's guys under the legislation in Texas is guys under we got to protect children.
Yeah,
Now see
that's-
what
yeah.
they're doing
It's
is
got-
they're
it's a
requiring
guys.
that these porn sites.
That's how they're gonna get you to and that's this
They're getting-
bullshit we have nowadays about microchips in your kids is what it fucking boils
it's
down
fucking ridiculous,
Yeah.
No,
disgusting.
it's they're basically requiring porn sites in the state of Texas to require age verification. So, but they don't
Yeah, but
give it any.
We're
kind
supposed to be the goddamn virtue of freedom here.
Yeah, but they don't offer any framework on how to
Exactly.
verify
No.
ages. So basically, foreign
other
state
than,
companies.
other
Click
than
yes or no.
firearms.
Yeah, you can be 16 and go get a fucking shotgun.
So do we need it? No, you got to be 18 to get a shotgun.
18 anymore.
Yeah, you got to be 18. I mean, it
What is
was.
it, 16 for a rifle?
Or you can go to Waffle
no,
House and
no.
get it smothered and covered. I think that comes with a gun.
Yeah, well. On my 18th birthday, I went to a gun show in Texas. I bought an SKS rifle and fucking 200 rounds of ammunition. Chinese, communist fucking
Full
bullshit.
metal jacket.
Full metal jacket. And you know what? It made me feel good.
Well, now I can't jack it because they don't have fucking porn.
Yeah,
But now you
bring
can't.
it all back around.
Bring it around. It's,
But that's a whole censorship
that's the thing.
issue.
It's just
and,
like, do you want freedom or do you want freedom? So
no freedom or security.
well,
It's one of the two.
but that's
Or
the
the
thing, it's
illusion of
fake,
security.
What
it's
they
the-
want is campaign contributions from fucking HR Pornhub.
Yeah. No. See,
HR sucking
They're
stuff.
they're bribing them for money.
you
is
got to
what they're
stop
doing.
me because I'm about to advocate violence.
Yeah, this is our sonic warfare. We'll go into that at another time. It's just that I thought it was fucked up that there was no
Put
news
Chris
about
in the
this.
cone of silence. He's about to threaten the government.
But
So, after the whole feraliminal anthropizer thing, like we said, that's mostly based in fiction. However, with the advent of the Cold War, this is where things get, as they say, real, and people have to start making decisions about blah blah blah. 9
When
o'clock.
people stop being
Central. Yeah.
start
So,
being real.
Road rules. So once we get into the Cold War, this is when you start to see actual applications of this shit. There is a interesting side story about Leo Theremin. Yes, the inventor of the theremin.
I really want one of those.
Me too. You can make one pretty easily.
I made
yeah.
one of my electronics course. It was rudimentary, but you moved your hand over it, and frequency and tone. Yeah.
Yeah. Leo Theramon's story goes into some pretty fucking crazy places. I can't say that a lot of it's factual, but one thing we do know for sure is that he created a listening device called The Thing, which was actually implanted into a gift given from the Russians to the U.S. Embassy in Moscow that had the listening device called The Thing implanted into it. But aside from that, not only is the Cold War making advancements in espionage technology,
and that's what triggered the U.S. to start looking into this sort of stuff, like psychotronics.
They were looking.
I think we've mentioned before that obviously, the Soviets were a godless communist country. They didn't believe in the paranormal necessarily.
They're bad.
So psychotronics is where
the whole
this started.
godless that is an American trope.
Yeah.
They're actually fucking Orthodox Christian.
Yeah.
Like that. The whole godless communist thing is an American trope.
And with everything going on
they're
now,
super goddamn Orthodox Christian. It's like
there's a whole nother like Catholic conspiracy about Fatima and all that shit popping up again. But yeah, that's where psychotronics is meant to have started essentially, and we're going to cover a guy who's tangentially involved in this stuff named Lieutenant Colonel, quote-unquote, Dr. Thomas Bearden a little down the road, and we're going to get deeper into that stuff. Yeah, but nonetheless, fucking craziness. As far as the Americans are concerned, one of the more prominent uses of sonic warfare was in a project during the Vietnam War called Operation Wandering Soul. It's where U.S. forces applied special speakers from various bases and flying helicopters, choppers, etc.
So
and they played a tape with a recording that sounded like this. That's Operation Wandering Soul. I'm sorry for anyone in our audience who doesn't speak Vietnamese, but basically the subtitles say,
Are those helicopter missions that Mad Murdock flew?
Probably. If the A-Team is any kind of historical postulate from which we can go on, then yes.
I'll give him that.
But yeah, basically anything that you heard that was in Vietnamese on that particular sample, it's basically like, I'm Vietnamese and I'm part of the VC and I wish I hadn't fought America because now I'm dead and I'm wandering in the afterlife, etc., etc. Also, it's highly fucking annoying, so there's that as well. That's what most of this stuff is. However, there's an even deeper conspiracy theory that has some basis in, actual real-life shit. A project that the Russians did involving a sonic weapon called the woodpecker. This shit goes deep as fuck.
The woodpecker signal,
The woodpecker is very interesting to me. Like, that is the one that I read up on.
Yeah, and we'll include a link on this as well. Yeah, it goes, and supposedly this was a sonic mind control project that was being from, I believe, 1976 till the fall of the Soviet Union.
And it was near Chernobyl, was the antenna
supposedly
array.
Chernobyl, was powering this thing.
Yeah,
and there's some people who say that we actually sold the electromagnets and
it is I saw that we sold Russia this large electromagnet array, and they put use to it. The only thing I knew about it is I actually saw a video of a guy, like a free climber guy, recently.
The number stations.
Climbing the antenna array that is still there near Chernobyl, which is, that whole area is kind of semi-cordoned off.
Still. There's
still some
literal mutant animals wandering that place.
Yes.
This whole woodpecker signal thing gets into some extremely woo-woo places. It goes off into things about psychic mind control. Yeah, like you said, numbers channels, but...
Number stations,
number stations, yeah. For those who aren't familiar, check out number stations. There's too many to fucking really mention and throw in here. But basically, it was a psychic number station with mind control as the overriding premise behind it.
The antenna array is, like, kind of amazing. It's like, I wouldn't call it a wonder of the world, but
it's a feat of modern technology.
But trying to be like one of the guys, and that's the thing. Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
No, you didn't know what you were doing. You're just a guy.
That's the whole
there
premise behind using contractors, as the CIA does.
Yeah,
and,
like you get hired and you don't know what you're building. You don't get to build it as proper as you should.
Yeah,
and you're supposed to know what you're building so that you can build it right. These guys, they just put some people on there building it, and what did they know?
They were big on throwing tons of money onto theoretical sciences.
Yeah, the Russians especially. And supposedly the overriding, main theory is that this is part of their OTH, a.k.a. Over the Horizon Early Missile Defense System. It was supposed to warn them if America pushed the button first, basically. But this signal was feeding out the entire time from, I believe, 76 till close of the Soviet Union. And once again, like we said, this goes into all kinds of weird-ass psychic mind control fucking avenues. It is some strange shit. We'll include a link on that as well. From there, the gateway process. I've talked about this before a long time ago, too. This is on the U.S. side. There's a guy named Bob Monroe who originally started in advertising. And he wrote commercial jingles and things like that.
Bob sounds like anybody named Bob worked in advertising.
Monsters. Robert Monroe. But today there exists a group called the Monroe Institute, and they utilize what is known as the gateway process using audio tapes of a prolonged frequency called the hemisync method. And this is a auditory tone. This is where binaural beats and probably ASMR too. Which also, now I'm thinking of it, there are a lot of Russians who do ASMR. I don't know, whatever. That's my own paranoid shit.
Adds to mouth realization.
Ratio. Yeah. The gateway process is a specific tonal frequency that's meant to be listened to for hours on end. You're supposed to listen to it while you sleep. And it aids in the meditation process to help you go underneath into a sort of astral projection sort
an altered
of
state, a heightened altered state of consciousness.
And this is what people in the remote viewing, Project Stargate, all that shit. This is kind of tangential, but there's that YouTube video of the guy who hacks into the baby monitor and he's like playing Tiptoe Through the Tulips to the kid.
Yeah, and freaks out the kids.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
some creep motherfucker like was hacking into baby monitors. Or like Ring cameras in kids' rooms, like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like talking to the kids and shit.
He was able to hack
We'll
into
include
the
that
intercom.
video too, or at least the video where they talk about it on a news
Did y'all
station.
ever do, like, we are from the generation where we had cordless phones, like cordless house phones
Big
back
old
in the day.
Jack Morris.
And the intercom, and you could walk around the neighborhood and you could just pick up what other people were talking about. It was
It's like on Poltergeist when he would change the TV channel of his roommate, of his neighbor.
But you didn't move the bodies.
Yeah, like, I don't know, I guess the youngsters won't get that. I don't know, but we used to be able to just walk around with our house phone. You go out and you get to listen to your neighbors talking on their phones because there wasn't as many radio frequencies that separated everything back then.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what like the whole EVP argument is now is like these people are just picking up random shit. Pareidolia plays into it as well.
But that's also the scary part is like there's so many fucking frequencies bouncing around us these days.
Even just a regular baby monitor. The fact that someone can hack into that,
and we're not
just...
Yeah, it's because the password was like 0000000.
There was no password. You just walked around and caught it. Like I used to listen to police scanners a lot. Also, you could hit all the different channels on the scanner.
Enemy.
All the scanner channels, and you can hear all kinds of stuff. It's like that's
even
the thing.
off main channel stuff like that.
Nowadays, even just recently, Dallas Police, my scanners don't work anymore because
there's phone apps that'll.
There are phone apps, but they leave out the good stuff. Like because there used to be all the channels, and you could pick up random radio channels, and you could listen to the undercover channels. You could listen to the main channels. Yeah, because I could listen to them doing drug busts at the apartments, down the way. You can't do that anymore because they've digitized.
Eagles landed.
They've digitized it all, but it used to be more.
So they can block it.
Yeah, it's all filtered. There used to be everything was just blasted into the airwaves. But it's kind of interesting because all this stuff was blasted into the airwaves, and anybody with the right receptor could pick it up. Nowadays, it's digitized, so it's a little different, but that's actually more scary because there's more different frequencies blasting through the air.
Yeah,
and we don't know how that affects us, or somebody knows how it affects us, but it's not... We're not aware of it.
There was a Netflix special, I forget on what specifically, but it didn't come out too long ago, where they revealed that police were illegally using a device called the Stingray. Did y'all see this? Did y'all know what I'm talking about?
No.
There was a guy
Have
who
you
was
seen this? Have you heard about this?
Have you seen it? Heard about this? This dude was basically a dark web drug dealer, and he eluded police, the feds, for so fucking long. Because he had a setup to reversify. He basically had a Trace Buster.
Trace Buster.
If anyone out there has seen the Marky Mark vehicle, The Hitman, starring Lou Diamond Phillips. But yeah, he had some device that basically let him know that they were fucking listening in on him, and he actually got his prison sentence reduced, I guess, because they illegally were using a device called a Stingray. So yeah, there is, once again, this all plays into telecommunications and crazy shit like that. But once again,
audio stuff.
For those who maybe still doubt the existence of sonic warfare or psychotronic weaponry, and once again, we're just delving into a fraction of this shit. This is just the sound-based stuff.
We're dipping the bottom of the balls in the soup, okay?
A little bottom nut. Dennis Kucinich, didn't he just die recently? Am I thinking of someone else?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Dennis Kucinich was actually the author of a bill that was killed on the floor in Congress, but he introduced a bill that was basically it was founded on a lot of, what are they called, petitions written by people who claim to be targeted individuals or, the victims of electronic harassment, psychotronic harassment. And this bill was killed on the floor. But if you get someone as high as Dennis Kucinich writing legislation...
State Representative Dennis J. Kucinich.
Yeah. Like, this is a proposed piece of legislation that was floated before Congress. So at least in the United States, there's that. I know that gang stalking and all this shit is also big in the UK. But you hear about it in a lot of places too. Eastern Europe is where it gets really weird, but these are like ex-Soviet countries and shit like that where who knows what the fuck's going on.
I'm looking at this list. It's actually
chemtrails.
They put chemtrails in the fucking legislation.
Theater.
Yeah.
That's like propaganda.
That is actually
guerrilla theater. Yeah. Such terms include exotic weapon systems such as electronic, psychotronic, or information weapons, chemtrails, high-altitude, ultra-low-frequency weapon systems,
HARP,
plasma, electromagnetic, sonic, or ultrasonic weapons, laser weapon systems, strategic, theater, tactical, or extraterrestrial weapons, chemical, biological, environmental, climate, or tectonic weapons. And this also actually,
it just lets you know all the things that they know that we don't know.
Yeah. That woodpecker system actually also feeds into a lot of weather control conspiracies as well. Like we said, it branches off into so many places. This was the last part that we wanted to say because it's the most convoluted.
It's looking like a hot dog. Actually, chili dog
beginning
time.
to look a lot like hot dogs.
Give me 6 schlitzes. So yeah, the whole idea or controversy, if you can even call it that, behind the 432 hertz versus 440 hertz versus also apparently 528 hertz. Like we
532
said,
is in there too.
Really? God damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
This traces back, like we said, to the Rockefeller Foundation, Lyndon LaRouche, and the Schiller Institute. And then, as Chris mentioned earlier, it's all over the fucking socials. This is one of those new spins or takes on an old conspiracy theory.
I hate to invoke the goddamn trope, but do your own research. Look into this shit.
Yeah.
No, really. Like, look into some of this shit because
make up your own mind.
Yeah.
Me as a any
Do your
listeners-
own research, but realize it does not make you an expert.
Yeah. any like listeners that have listened to me, like y'all know, this is my least skeptical fucking approach at all times, because this stuff actually is kind of factual.
Yeah.
And you could find a lot of stuff about it. There is a lot of woo bullshit.
Yeah, like the rock and roll, heavy metal, satanic conspiracy
Don't get on
bullshit.
all that, and don't get on the, like, does the 440 really, like, cause negative disturbances in your life?
In the
because
Force.
Because that's just a tuning of a fucking instrument, honestly.
Those internet forums will cause negative disturbances in your life.
But it is interesting. It is interesting. Take it with a grain of salt, but also take it, you know?
Yeah.
It's very... I have found the whole thing interesting. I have not... It's interesting, and it's also... I don't know, a little cautionary tale.
You know, it's worth a gander.
It's worth a gander.
Yeah.
But also don't become one of the fuck asses.
Yeah, it's definite proof that, I mean, there is always a kernel of truth to this stuff. And I wanted to close out on a theoretical idea, taking everything we've known. If you can take these voice-to-skull devices and beam
project
infrasound,
some cannibal corpse into it and just fucking rock the fuck out and have a good fucking time.
essentially, but in the reverse. If you could theoretically weaponize infrasound and beam it into someone's home, you're basically weaponizing a haunting. I mean, if we're going on the foundations of the science that we have shown and proven, and one of the main tactics of people in control or people in positions of power is to always defame or make a person look crazy. So that's like the perfect, I don't know, weaponization. When you combine the two, I don't know.
It's like the theory of the MK Ultra, like the abuse, the human torture.
Yeah.
They would have them dress
Acoustic
up like
kitty times a million.
Yeah, well, they would have the torturers dress up in satanic robes and stuff. So that in the theory, in the idea of that, when these people come out later on in life,
clown ops.
They'll say, a devil dressed as Mother Teresa beat me with a bicycle chain. Like, no one will believe him.
That's very specific.
But to me,
well, it's just
the
thing
part.
I think about.
What was the guy with the fan?
I forget. I don't remember his name, but he was a famous.
I think he was called. His name was Mr. Chicken.
Okay, Mr. Chicken. When
Andy.
When Mr. Chicken saw the ghost, but realized through scientific study that it was actually just this fucking fan creating a frequency that fucked with his mind and his eyes and his ear. His perceptions were entirely fucked up by a simple thing such as a fucking fan.
Yeah.
So when goddamn was it Moses? Moses went up the hill. Was there a fan running? Like, you know, like
there was a
they
burning
were shaking
bush.
those palm leaves real fast.
But yeah, exactly. Burning bush. He was fucking high as fuck.
Yeah, it was drugs.
And maybe somebody was flapping something somewhere in the distance. And
you know, the arc is supposed to be like a whole electrical.
Yeah, there's
thing or whatever.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
To me,
or a radioactive
as
device.
the skeptic, there is I'm channeling Scully right now, and all the things have potential realistic explanations.
Yeah.
This topic really has a lot of realistic explanations, and that is
There's
something.
some bedrock.
There is bedrock to this, and you know what?
Do.
As the normal skeptic and the normal Scully, you know what? I'm putting my stamp of approval on this topic.
Yeah, and for those who still don't lend any credence to this, I will remind
Suck my dick!
I will remind you again that this is also technically our April Fool's episode, so there's going to be lots of subliminals and
I have
some fucking wacky Sonics going on.
All right.
If you suddenly get the urge to drink a gallon of mayonnaise after you listen to this.
If we didn't mention it at the top of the show, you should not be operating heavy machinery.
At this point,
during
I have
this
no
episode.
idea what Fuzzy's putting in the after the fact of this recording, so I can.
That's a sonic.
All right.
That's a sonic weapon.
And my lovely fiance, my bride-to-be, just walked in with a whoopee cushion and made a fart noise, which is a sonic assault.
It's the light brown noise.
It is the brown noise.
Yeah.
And just to put us in perspective and remember where we came from.
Bring
Thanks
us
for
back to
keeping
that
it
dirt
real.
shit.
Love you, boo.
So yeah, this is our like we said, we're taking it easy this week because next week we're gonna do some dark fucking territory.
Yeah.
But it's necessary to prove some points of what's going on in this country in the last couple of years.
Again, I will say I love this topic because it is actually realistic.
Yeah.
This is shit that can happen, can fuck with your brain, and has and does.
And
we have no idea what the governments that have these equipment and the
or private corporation,
it's the private sector
security contractors.
The private sector is the scariest fucking thing in the world because actually most military shit is private sector these days.
Yeah,
we don't know anything, and all that
you can see that trend continue. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's all become private sector.
Speaking of technology, apparently ChatGPT has written us a little limerick about sonic weapons.
Tell me about sonic weaponry, and it gave me some pretty decent, succinct notes. And then I said, hey, what the hell? Hey, ChatGPT, write a limerick about sonic weapons. Here we go, Chris.
In distant lands where conflicts do swell, sonic weapons make quite a knell. With waves of high sound, they disrupt all around. Yet their use, some would say, is quite fell.
That's not bad.
Not bad. Not bad.
I use ChatGPT for all my limericks.
Ask it what it thinks about AI taking over our limerick writing jobs. Any hoozle.
Yeah.
So yeah, tune in next week. Like we said, it's gonna get dark. So I'm just warning you now. It's gonna be a bad one. It's gonna be rough, but it needs to be done. So, having said that, this has been Kooks, Cranks, and Iconoclast. I'm your host, Mike Luck.
And you can find us all on...
Spencer, you're supposed to say your fucking name.
Spencer.
That's Spencer Lowry over there. They missed the cue.
That's me.
I'm Chris Wells, and yeah, catch us on...
If you want to get a hold of us, email us at kooksandcranks@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's the one. And but also hit us up on the socials. I promise this week I'm actually gonna start fucking with the socials.
And be sure to rate and comment on our podcast.
And check me out, Christ ACAB, at all the things. I'm Christ ACAB on the Twix, the Facebook, the Instagram, and a.k.a. Industries.
I'm trying to get a little more proactive about this as well. I'm Mick Luck on Facebook. I think I'm the same on the Instagrams.
Mick, as in you're a fucking Mick bastard?
Well, that's what my mom calls me.
Mick Jagger.
It just so happens that Irish people are also called Mick. What was the other thing? Oh, and I believe our Twix is Kooks_Cranks_Iconoclast.
That's the one where we can like do the where I can put a bunch of like offensive things on it.
Okay. Oh, sweet. Okay.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there is no regular. That's the wild, wild west,
clicks, baby.
That's the wild, wild west of fucking goddamn
no bad
social
publicity.
media.
So yeah, tune in next week. Thanks for listening. We'll see you then.
Thanks.
Bye, boo.